Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. They were selected 2 draft picks apart in 2017. They've combined for 22 passing touchdowns, over 3,200 passing yards. Another pair of firsts facing off for the very first time today is Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo. And when was the last time that the Rams played the 49ers and it actually meant something? And not just something to me, because Jimmy Garoppolo is less than 10 miles away from our studio right now. Gosh, is it hot in here? And then we've got Russell Wilson and Baker Mayfield. Russell Wilson is having an MVP season. Baker Mayfield, you don't really know what you're going to get from week to week. We've got all of that and so much more. Tyreek Hill is going to play today. Hunter Henry is active and good to go against the Steelers tonight. And then we have Todd Gurley, who's out, and so much more. This is Fantasy League One.
Big welcome to NFL Fantasy League One, presented by Geico. That is Marcus Grant. You just met Taylor Bisciotti and, of course, Graham Barfield. And I am your host and commissioner, Adam Rank, the only person qualified to lead this rogues gallery of fantasy superstars. And Taylor, you mentioned...
I'm still fanning myself.
You mentioned
all of a sudden the studio went from being freezing all the time to
it's
still very cold.
It's not only is it freezing,
I don't know what it is.
The shade of mentioning Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, the anti-Mitch Trubisky. I think that was, I understand where you were coming from. That was a not so subtle shot at us Bears fans. But let's take a look at some of the games that are already underway in the UK across the pond. Some of your notable. Oh, I've got Mike Evans getting close to 20 points.
I have Curtis Samuel on my bench.
Oh,
I think
no.
everyone does at this point.
I have him in my league of record. And by the way, we haven't done this at all this season. Commissioner decrees. I'm going to have one this week. We're going to start a new thing, and it's going to be something that's near and dear to your heart.
Uh-oh.
But no, you'll like it.
Okay.
You'll like it. But let's also talk about, oh, by the way, our own Ricky Hollywood is in Great Britain as well, and she was on the sidelines with friend of the program, Will Gavin.
Hi, Ricky.
Hollywood!
She's being interviewed.
Look at Ricky big time.
We need her back.
I feel like she's sort of faking that. She's not actually being interviewed. She just
Stop.
wants us to pretend.
That is legit. You know what? If you've been following the coverage of
It's
the
been
Around the
awesome.
NFL podcast, of course, is over there. She
It has
is
been
a
major
big
for them.
Yeah.
She's a big member of that team because she's obviously an on-air personality, but she's also the person who puts it together. She is so over in the UK that I don't think that she's ever coming back.
No.
I don't know if I would.
No, she's not
It's looking like she's having a blast there. All of her food Instagrams.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm having FOMO.
A little bit, yeah, a little FOMO. Absolutely.
If you guys want, you guys can send me there. I'll go grab her, and then we'll come back together.
Happily make
I feel like
that
that's
trade.
not how that would work. I
No.
feel
No,
like
we'll,
you
we'll
would
make
go
that
there
trade.
No, I
We'll
got
make that
you.
trade definitely.
I
But
think
let's
that's a little
talk.
unfair.
Whoa!
Let's talk. No, that was no. I think
Are
it would
you
be.
saying
It
you would trade me out
Listen,
and send me
I'm
there?
just saying it would be good for our brand. That's all. I just think you'd be a great representative in the United Kingdom. By the way, let's talk about some notable inactives and actives for the coming week. Tyreek Hill is going to be starting today for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Andy Reid is making the decision to start Tyreek Hill. Should you start him in your fantasy league?
Yes, you should.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you should. Against the Texans secondary, we know how many targets he gets. We know what a big play guy he is. If he's playing for the Chiefs, he's playing for you.
Yeah, Texans are going to be without their starting cornerback, Jonathan Joseph, but not that it matters. Like Tyreek Hill,
Yeah, if
obviously just
Tyreek
has,
Hill is active and playing, you don't
Yeah.
bench Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, he has a weak tilting upside unlike nobody other.
Yeah, absolutely. But Graham, let me ask you this though. What about the other Kansas City receivers? Sammy Watkins is going to be out, but we've seen guys like Byron Pringle step up. Are we starting any of those other receivers? Now, obviously Travis Kelce for sure, but what about the other receivers?
Right, that's a big one. Sammy Watkins missing this game is going to be big for Kelce because Kelce plays a lot of the slot. Watkins is going to miss the week here with the hamstring injury, but I don't think he can really play Demarcus Robinson or Mecole Hardman or any of these other guys because there's just so many rotational players. We're going to get Tyreek Hill back, and he should see the majority of the targets there. Him and Kelce should see the majority of the targets.
I agree with Graham. There's so many mouths to feed there, and when he has his top 2 go-to receivers available, he's going to just primarily hit on them. I don't think that you can really guarantee yourself with any of those other receivers to know that they're going to get enough touches.
One big name that will not be playing Sunday, it's one of the later games too. Todd Gurley is going to miss this. Malcolm Brown is going to be the start. So Marcus, I'm going to ask you, as a San Francisco 49ers fan, I want you to be as biased as possible.
Okay.
Are we starting Malcolm Brown this week?
We are not.
No.
I mean, we are definitely not starting it. I mean, look, even Nick Chubb had just an okay game against the 49ers on Monday Night Football. I don't know that You can expect big things from Malcolm Brown in this one. That Niners front has just been really tough. It's been tough to move the football on them. Plus, I mean, aside from week 1, when Malcolm Brown had, 2 touchdowns, we've seen absolutely nothing from him. I don't expect huge things today.
And this has nothing to do with fantasy football, but if the Rams are not wearing the blue and gold to go against the 49ers white uniforms, then
Thank you.
I'm
Those are by
turning
far their best
I'm
uniforms.
turning off the TV.
Thank you.
And you can just tell me what is going to happen. And also, one thing I won't turn off, though, is that the celebrities are finally taking on the experts here in Fantasy League 1. Yeah, buddy! How you feeling, Kane Brown? Already down by 20. And, of course, Hollywood Eek is going up against Desi Banks. Taylor Made going up against Candace, a.k.a. Iris West. The fantasy footballers, actually, we're kind of pulling for Charles Melton in that one. Graham against the FaZe Clan, and, of course, Marcus Grant. Did I say that right? Gosh,
did.
I don't know why my mind has not been
I have no
working.
idea what's going on.
I don't know. Apparently week 6 is where I hit the roadblock. I'm like, wait a minute, I said that correct. It's like when you see somebody in the hallway and you call them by a name. You're like, hey, Tina, and she walks by and you're like,
That wasn't Tina.
did I get the right name?
Well, I had the
anything-
nice surprise. I like to wait and see Adam later on in the day, try and, wake up.
You don't want to
first,
see me first thing in the
put
morning.
my body armor on, but then all of a sudden I'm getting out of my car at NFL Network, have my coffee and all my stuff in my hand, and Adam is just standing right there. I jumped out of
With a hood on.
jumped out of
With
my
my
seat with
hood's
the hood
on.
on, and he's like, "Hello."
As a bold American, I've got my hood on. I look like the Dark Knight, of course. But let's talk about this matchup between Marcus Grant and Team AEW. One of the surprisingly good, not surprisingly, but they have one of the most under the radar good teams. So are we going to take a look at this matchup, or what are we going to do? Or actually, no. Let's ask you. You're going to crush the celebrities, I
Yes.
hope. Who is
Right.
going to be your celebrity crusher?
It is going to be Matt Ryan. Look, Team AEW, I know you've been heating up. Things have been going well for you, but you're going to get put on ice. Matty Ice is coming for you against the Arizona Cardinals. He's going to go light them up. He's going to cool down whatever you got cooking there on your side. Oh, I'm supposed to do
That was
analysis
pretty.
now?
That was
Oh.
pretty impressive. No, I like it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
so now
Yeah, we
for-
have
for
B-roll now.
actual
I
fantasy
appreciated
stuff.
it.
The Cardinals defense, not very good. And the thing, Matt Ryan's actually had 300 or more passing yards in every single game. It's not always pretty. Look, I said earlier this week, if you love the Law, Sausage, and Matt Ryan fantasy points, you want to watch neither one being made because it's not really pretty, but it ends up being pretty effective.
That's a funny joke.
You like that?
I like
Thanks.
that. Yeah,
Thanks.
there's some jokes that should be said once and then never, but I'm glad that
I'm glad. Yeah,
It's
well,
funny.
for a new,
like,
it's a new audience.
the
here.
sausage,
Yeah,
and the
holiday
law.
coming from him. He's
7
basically-
o'clock
That's a
audience.
fun. Like, I popped. Like I've
7 o'clock audience different than the 9 o'clock audience. you know?
absolutely like Brian Regan. You sit through both shows. Like he might do different things in both
And Adam
shows.
is
I
a
like that.
comedian, so him giving
That's
you
what
a
I've heard.
compliment
I love
is
it.
quite a compliment.
appreciate
It was
Wow.
when we did that on fantasy. I'm so sorry. I know we're going to move on. Taylor's going to talk about Ezekiel Elliott. It's one of those jokes, though, that
Thank you.
I was mad in the moment that I didn't make it. I'm like, dude, man, sitting there like you're at an open mic, like, oh,
going.
all right, Taylor, Ezekiel Elliott is.
Ezekiel Elliott, he has had over 15 points in 4 straight games. He has received 21 targets, and his touches are going up. So he's been a top back, but we really haven't seen him explode. He's going up against a Jets defense today that is very banged up. I have a feeling that he is going to be my celebrity crusher and make a big difference against Candace today.
Yeah, he kind of
Candace, good luck.
he kind of got game scripted out of that contest against the Green Bay Packers, so this should be an opportunity for him to get right. Graham, you're going up against the FaZe Clan,
Yeah.
4-1. You're 1-4, but we're not going to talk about that right
Thank
now.
you.
got
Graham.
this.
We're not going to talk
You
about
got
it, but you
this.
just brought it up.
Right,
So it's okay.
right.
I didn't want anybody at home to bring that up. Do not tweet
Oh.
Graham
Oh.
and tell him that he's 1-4 because we would hate that.
Definitely
But here's
don't do
my
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Who is going to be your celebrity crusher today?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, I think, has to be. He put up 40 fantasy points for me last week, and obviously this is just another fantastic matchup here against the Chiefs on the road in a game where Patrick Mahomes and company should throw a ton. Chiefs secondary really just does not have the cornerback talent to deal with DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, and everything the Texans can throw at you. I desperately need another 35-plus fantasy points from Deshaun Watson because the FaZe Clan already have 60-plus on me between Brady, Edelman, McCaffrey.
Oh, that was so
I'm
disgusting.
yeah,
Ooh, that's
I'm
unfortunate.
I'm far behind. I played Panthers defense, so thank you, Jameis.
That
but
helps.
Oh, there you go. So you're done. All right, it's not over.
It's not completely over
It's
yet.
not over.
Yeah.
But what might be over
No, it's not.
is Kane Brown. By the way, I think it's slick that you're out there selling out arenas all the time. Well, you're in my arena now. And I'm going to
Oh,
beat you
jeez.
so bad,
Oh, my
you're going to
God.
be able to write a country song about it. You know who's going to be my celebrity crusher this week? Cooper Kupp. Hey, listen, that was dorky, but I don't care. I love Cooper Kupp this week. Ever since that he has returned to the Los Angeles Rams, he has been such a difference maker. And I've been saying this a lot. I felt that he was the most valuable part of this offense last year because we saw when Todd Gurley was out at the end of the year, they were able to put in C.J. Anderson. Nobody ever was able to step in and replicate what Cooper Kupp did to that offense. And I know the 49ers are going to try to take him away, but they have not faced Cooper Kupp over the last couple of years. So you're not going to be able to stop him, and he's going to crush you. That's it. I just wanted to I wanted to bring that in.
Segment over.
I was actually waiting for my producer to tell me
Now
what
I'm
we
just
were
trying to
doing
think
next.
of what.
Hold on.
Well, now I'm just trying to think of what Kane Brown would name his song after you. Like what? Like
I got ranked. There it is. Boom. Patent pending. Anyways, as we move on, it's time now for Fantasy Insurance presented by Geico. We'll be looking at our favorite matchups of the week. But listen, this show is not bland. It's not banal. So you got to go a little bit deeper than like, hey, I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes. No, I want a deep album cut. So we're going to lead off with Taylor.
Okay.
My
fantasy insurance is going to be Kyler Murray. He's got a favorable matchup against a Falcons defense that's been very, very bad. In 4 out of the last 5 weeks, he's finished as a top 12 quarterback. Not only is he going to be able to get points today on the ground running, but he's going to be able to get points passing. It's a favorable matchup for him, and I think that he's going to be my insurance player of the week.
Graham, who you got?
I'm taking a look at Damian Williams in my flex spots in the leagues where I have him in. He's finally back healthy, and I know the Chiefs' backfield has definitely been a little bit tough to figure out this year, but when Damian Williams is on the field, he has been their lead back, especially on passing downs, and that's huge in this game. This Texans linebacking core is giving up the most receptions to opposing running backs, and even though Damian Williams has kind of struggled on the ground, he doesn't have a carry for more than 6 yards this year, which is kind of crazy to think about.
That is crazy.
He is still by far their best receiver on passing downs, and for that reason, I'm playing him in all the PPR leagues I can.
Marcus?
I'm digging in the crates for an old school album. I'm coming out with Larry Fitzgerald. Right?
Nice.
Taylor talked about Kyler Murray and what he's going to do potentially, and I think a lot of it is going to come in the direction of Larry Fitzgerald. Christian Kirk is out. David Johnson expected to play, but probably not going to be 100%. So I think this is a week against that bad Falcons defense. They lean on number 11, just like old times again.
Absolutely. And since everybody's talking about this game, I do want to quickly mention Austin Hooper. Obviously, anytime you're going up against the Arizona Cardinals, you want to play the tight end. I mean, unless it's Tyler Eifert, but mostly, if you can play a competent tight end, you want to do that. Austin Hooper, though, the one reason I wanted to bring this up is that he has been a great fantasy find this season. Even in games where he's not playing the #1 team against the tight ends, he's still a viable matchup each and every week. And since this is fantasy insurance, let me reiterate, if you're starting Hunter Henry tonight, also realize that in case he's a last-second inactive, which I don't think is going to be the case, make sure you have somebody like Noah Fant, Jimmy Graham, or TJ Hawkinson available to you because they are going to be playing that late Sunday night game. And that was Fantasy Insurance presented by Geico. All right, real quick right now, because we're a show of the people. We want to reach out to you and let you reach out to us to ask us some questions. So I believe we're going to start flying some. Yeah, there we go. You know what, Graham? Let me throw this one to you.
High senior socks.
Yes, Minshew or Rivers?
Man, tough call this week, but I actually think I'm going to go with Gardner against the Saints here.
I don't hate that call.
No.
Taylor, what about you? Juju or
I'm
Fuller?
going to go with Fuller. Fuller.
Oh,
Is that where we've gotten with Juju?
Do you have Juju, Marcus? Did I just hurt your feelings?
I do, you did.
Yeah, no, we just haven't seen enough consistency out of Juju to make him a better option over Will Fuller.
I'm not saying you're wrong. It just hurts.
It just
my
hurts
heart.
us. It just hurts us still. All right, who we got? How about you, Marcus? How about you take this one? Start one with the Bengals RB1, LaShawn McCoy or Devonta Freeman.
I think I'm going to go with Devontae Freeman in this one. They're starting to work him in, and look, it's as a passer, which weirdly enough in most leagues actually works out better than him just being a straight-up running back.
No, that's very true. Although, you know what? The Texans have allowed the most receptions to running backs
That is
this
true.
season. But it also lends itself to Damian Williams. And then, you know what? I'll just handle this one. Aaron Jones, Mark Ingram help. Nope, Sean. This is too. I honestly.
I wouldn't know what to do here.
I would say,
I
you know what? I would say
know.
this. Jamal
Aaron-
Williams might be back, which probably
Good
takes
point.
some of the shine off of
know.
Aaron Jones this
Yeah.
week.
It's probably going to be Mark Ingram. All right, coming up, we're going to do our must-start under-the-radar players. You're watching NFL Fantasy League One presented by Geico. And right now, we happy chat. Don't go away.
place where football and culture collide. It's the collision of the GOATs and the MCs.
Tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
With the fashion and the food.
I promise you're gonna love it. Here, eat it.
Slammed in with the fans, the stands, and the 12th man. Mashed up with the music.
It's a real big cultural moment right now.
And the movies.
I started watching the show years ago.
Mixed in with the X's and O's and the oohs and ahs.
Are you kidding me?
It's the fantasy.
You can't steer away from Hopkins, but you can certainly take Adams over.
And the reality. It's the access.
People are gonna count us out every week.
And the attitude.
Say it to management or shut your mouth and put your money on the line.
It's the trash talk.
Brother, do it quick.
And the crazy talk.
More bricks on the pile. Let's go.
It's all here, all day, every day. Because there's no such thing as too much football.
We're now going to Chicago, where it looks like football weather this Sunday morning.
This just happened with Cleveland. Mayfield fired.
This is NFL Game Day highlights. Let's get it going.
Touchdown, Amari Cooper.
Because I talked to him. He called up. And he got to go. There we go.
We got you covered from morning to night. NFL Game Day, Sunday at 9, only on NFL Network.
We welcome you to NFL Total Access.
It's one of the best things about the National Football League.
A lot of news today in the NFL.
There's always something to talk about.
Andrew Luck rocking the football world.
Always something to find out.
The passes in the pass, it was definitely sharp.
Reporting on every team, every weeknight.
They create so many mismatch opportunities.
As it unfolds right in front of our eyes.
Follow my guy, James Jones. That's when you're going to find out what's going on.
We know the league better than anyone. NFL Total Access, weeknights only on NFL Network.
Time now for 15 minutes to kickoff, presented by Geico. Alvin Kamara, active. Tyreek Hill, active. Sammy Watkins will be out with a hamstring injury. David Johnson expected to play in that 1 o'clock or 4 p.m. Eastern tilt. Chase Edmonds would be the replacement if he could not go. George Kittle, probable, expected to go, but Todd Gurley is out. Malcolm Brown will get the start, although Marcus Grant says do not start him.
Do not.
And that was 15 minutes to kickoff, presented by Geico. And right now, let's take a look at some of the must-start players, some under-the-radar guys that we must be starting this week. Somebody you might not necessarily have drafted high, but you're going to be playing them this week. And Graham, we will start with you.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin you probably picked up off the waiver wire just a few weeks ago, but this is just the absolute best matchup that he could possibly have against this Dolphins secondary. Xavier Howard, too. Miami's best cornerback will be out for this game, giving McLaurin's matchup an even better boost. And now the Redskins are going to go back with Case Keenum under center, and McLaurin and Keenum kind of showed some pretty nice chemistry early in the year.
There we go.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah.
MG,
words are hard.
You're also looking at somebody in this matchup as well, right?
I am. Preston Williams. I know that people have sort of shied away from starting any Dolphins, but if there's one you're going to start, Preston Williams very quietly having a very good year down there. And look, there aren't a lot of opportunities to start guys wearing the teal and orange, but against this Washington Football Club, this is definitely one of them. I expect him to get plenty of targets and have a pretty decent game here.
May I ask you guys a quick question?
Sure.
If you had to pick between the two of these players, would you have McLaurin over Williams?
I probably would.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor, who are you looking at?
Yes, it's very, very, very under the radar, but I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. He's coming off his best game of the year, possibly in his career. He's going up a Eagles defense that's very banged up. Their corners are hurt, and they're allowing they have the best run defense, though, so it's going to force Kirk Cousins to throw the ball. I think it's a very favorable matchup for him in that regard. Unfortunately, I do have Dalvin Cook, so I don't think that it's going to be unfortunate for Dalvin, but very fortunate for Kirk.
I think the most unfortunate thing that could happen on Sunday would be for the Cardinals and Falcons to combine for 13 points. Because
Don't
we're
say it, Adam.
all
Don't
these guys,
say it.
Because I
Why
like
are you
Mohamed
putting this in the
Sanu
universe?
in this game. Listen, the universe already knows. Like
just totally
we're not
jinxed it.
surprising the universe. The universe is paying pretty close attention to what is going on. And honestly, but if you're looking for somebody, this is one of the things that anytime you need to search for somebody on the waiver wire, it's a Sunday morning, you're trying to figure it out. Just figure out what game is going to have the most points scored or what you figure would have the most points scored, especially with a team like the Arizona Cardinals who play with such a great pace going up against a team that does not stop anybody on defense. That is why we're advocating you start all of these players. Now, it is time for 15 for 15 presented by Geico. And each week we're putting the spotlight on some great fantasy leagues that are out there. We think that we have the best fantasy league in the world. Some of you guys feel opposite or feel that your team or your league should be included in that conversation. Now this week, a league that calls itself But Bro sent us a video that we liked, and they have their own merch. Bro! And I'm going to tell you right now, if Matt Riddle is not in this league, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Bro. And by the way, my friend Casey is the only one who popped for that joke. Okay, let's roll the video.
This is But Bro.
Club him.
But Bro is a group of 13 men who take fantasy football to the next level. Drafts don't happen online. We scoff at keyboard warriors out there. We'll make fun of your sleeper 6th-round pick to your face at a live draft every year. But Bro isn't just a league. We're a brand. With custom merchandise and big-name companies backing the But Bro name, we have become pioneers in fantasy football. Humiliation and roast don't end in Week 16. You'll remember all the pain and suffering for years to come with embarrassing last-place punishments and personal videos from guys who ruin your season.
Heard that you're pretty terrible at fantasy, and I'm probably going to keep it that way, all right?
Our website is the pillar of our league. ButBro.com is nothing to joke about. Savages, philanthropists, geniuses. We are But Bro. Follow us at ButBro.com and Instagram at ButBro.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh,
that was like
this is
a legit,
amazing.
That was a legit promotional video.
That was really
Wow.
good.
Did they have an actual production team doing that? I guess.
Do we charge them for that? Like, there's one of our. Can we kick out the Total Access commercial?
Wait,
that
hold
we
on. The
normally
best
see
part
here
is
and
that
put
they
in
all
there?
had like headshots of like being doctors, and then you see them in these like snuggies
Right? They're
getting
like all
shamed.
professional
I
looking
know.
and stuff. Like, what the hell?
I don't know if I want them operating on me.
Yeah, I don't.
They're probably checking their fantasy scores, like
Bro.
sawing into somebody.
Bro. By the way, I did notice that they said 13. If you need a 14th.
Yeah, how does that work?
Adam,
out?
are you going to leave
Yeah, I'm
us?
sort of wondering.
I'm not
What
listening.
is this?
I've got, listen, I can help out a lot of people. I'm kind of a
I've noticed that
philanthropist.
you've been spread a little thin recently.
Yeah,
and I don't feel the love.
People have noticed that. Yeah. But check this out. You know what? If you want to be a part of the show, send us a short clip. Shorter than that. Telling us why your league is awesome. Use the hashtag 15for15, and you might just be featured on this show. And that was 15 for 15, presented by Geico. Coming up next, we're going to do some of the superheroes and supervillains of your fantasy league. You're watching NFL Fantasy League 1, presented by Geico. And now, be happy, Chad.
This is NFL Network, the place where football and culture collide. It's the collision of the GOATs and the MCs.
Tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
With the fashion in the food.
I promise you're gonna love it. Here, eat it.
Slammed in with the fans, the stands, and the 12th man. Mashed up with the music.
It's a real big cultural moment right now.
And the movies.
I started watching the show years ago.
Mixed in with the X's and O's and the oohs and ahs.
Are you kidding me?
It's the
You
fantasy
can't steer away from Hopkins, but you can certainly take Adams over.
and the reality. It's the access
People are gonna count us out every week.
and the attitude.
Say it to management or shut your mouth and put your money on the line.
It's the trash talk
Go quick.
and the crazy talk.
More bricks out of pile. Let's go.
It's all here, all day, every day. Because there's no such thing as too much football.
We're now going to Chicago, where it looks like football weather this Sunday morning.
This just happened with Cleveland. Mayfield fires.
This is NFL Game Day highlights. Let's get it going.
Touchdown, Amari Cooper.
Because I talked to him. He called up. And he got to go. There we go.
We got you covered from morning to night. NFL Game Day, Sunday at 9, only on NFL Network.
We welcome you to NFL Total Access.
It's one of the best things about the National Football League.
A lot of news today in the NFL.
There's always something to talk about.
Andrew Luck rocking the football world.
Always something to find out.
The pass is in the pass. It was definitely sharp.
Reporting on every team. every weeknight.
They create so many mismatch opportunities.
As it unfolds right in front of our eyes.
Follow my guy, James Jones. That's when you're going to find out what's going on.
We know the league better than anyone. NFL Total Access, weeknights only on NFL Network.
Welcome back to Fantasy League One, presented by Geico. Let's take a look at some of these questions. Hunter Henry or Gerald Everett. Well, I don't know why.
I feel like this
my
was
voice
speaking
just
just
squeaked.
to me.
Yeah, that's what it was. So why don't you answer this question?
I don't know.
I feel like this was speaking to me. I still don't know the answer.
I obviously drafted Hunter Henry, and then he got injured, so I had to kick him out of there so I could get another tight end. I've been playing Gerald Everett, and I've had a phenomenal last 2 games with him, so I'm not going to give him up.
I'm going to overrule everybody. I'm just going to say Gerald Everett. Okay, who wants to jump in on Marvin Jones or Alshon Jeffrey?
I'll take it and say Jeffrey here. I think Xavier Rhodes is struggling this year, and when the Eagles have been playing, he's been seeing a ton of targets.
All right, there you go, Daniel. Next. Disley or
this is a really tough one.
Really tough one. You know what? I think I'm gonna lean Disley mostly because he gets so many targets around the goal line. I mean, that touchdown upside is huge for him. So that's why I'll go.
I'm gonna
Taylor
go with
feels
Andrews
Disleyed by that answer. I was trying to get that joke out. Aaron Daniels, Cortland Sutton, or Mo Sanu.
Well, you just popped for Mo Sanu, so you might as well just stay with it.
I'm gonna stick with it. Let's go Mo Sanu. Let's do that one. All right, right now, welcome back, by the way. I'm Adam Rank. That's Grant Barfield, Taylor Bisciotti, MG, my guy Marcus Grant right over there. Now let's take a look at some of the superheroes and supervillains who will reveal themselves in Week 6. Oh, you know what? I'll start. What about Austin Eckler, who to me is like the NFL version of Nightwing, where he was once Batman's understudy as Robin. He emerged as his own superhero, and at a time, he became Batman himself, much like Dick Grayson did in Batman. What Batman series was it? I don't even remember. But you know what? Batman was stuck back in time. And then here comes Dick Grayson, Nightwing. I think that's a pretty good one. All right, Marcus, save me from this.
I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson, and I'm gonna go with him as a Black Lightning because he's very fast, right, and can move through defenses very quickly, but also he has the magnetic ability to control objects with his hand, much like he does with the football, spreading it out to all of his targets.
Taylor?
I'm going to go Adrian Peterson, and I'm going to say that he is similar to a Hulk because he runs through things like he runs into the end zone. And Bill Callahan is taking over as head coach for the first time this week. And if there's one thing that we all know about him, it's that he likes to run the ball. Adrian Peterson's been talking all week how he thinks this is going to be amazing. We know how running backs get points. It's by touches, and he's going to be getting tons of touches this week.
I'm disappointed, Taylor, because you stole my superhero. I was going to say George Kittle is the Hulk because
well, he can be the Hulk too.
Is smash. Yeah, no, we'll roll with it. Kittle is the Hulk. He's got to play through a groin injury this week. Kind of popped up late on the injury report, but yeah, this is just such a good matchup against the Rams. He's gone over 90 yards against the Rams in 3 straight games.
And you could be Mark Ruffalo, and you could be Ed Norton. So how about that?
Very good.
We'll settle it that way.
Well done.
But for every superhero, there has got to be a super villain. MG, who is your super villain? And you can't say Jameis Winston.
I was going to say Jameis Winston, but my producer, Hytham Kalani, wouldn't let me do it. So I'm going to say Matthew Stafford instead. And he's sort of like Sinestro in the sense that, once upon a time, he was actually really good, and he was really putting up a lot of power points for you. But now, all of a sudden, he seems to have flipped to the other side. They're running the football now, and he's not using his power quite as much. And I think this week against the Packers, the whole Lantern squad, they're green also.
Right.
The Lantern squad.
They have the Red Lanterns, too. But also, what about Taylor? Who do you got?
This is an unfortunate super villain for me because it's somebody that's on my team, and it's Dalvin Cook, who's been amazing. But the Eagles are allowing 2 yards to opposing running backs, an average of 2 yards per carry. It's not going to be a good game from him. They've been able to stop every other running back. I don't see it being any different for Dalvin.
Graham?
Yeah, Joe Mixon has definitely been a villain in a lot of fantasy lineups, and this is a really bad matchup for him here in Week 6. The Ravens should get ahead and take control of this game. And Joe Mixon has not been playing on passing downs. Gio Bernard has been ceding a bunch of passing work down.
I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, number 1, because Kane Brown is starting him. I liken him to Deadshot.
It's wishful thinking.
He's Deadshot. Like, he's a good guy, but he's not a good guy because he's kind of a villain. But we want to thank everybody who sent in submissions this week. Be sure to check us out 30 minutes before the Monday night game. We are Fantasy League One, presented by Geico. Good luck this week, and now we will happy chat. League One!